the day when I authored this. How we used to be unfortunate. I started to put my heart in it, all of it, and ever since then I always did. We grew up hard, it ain't no way you can soften it. Looking on the bright side wasn't hard as an orphan kid. Going deep into thought as I often did. When I was younger, things I learned from my father, they always stick. He told me one day that the time would be coming, well, it would be important for me to have the skills to live off the grid. Somehow I knew he wasn't bluffing, it made me tougher. I had to give my testimony, and this is only a part of it. It was the moment we started it, and I became the one and only. When he showed me the difference of being able to lead and being only a follower, instantly my outlook on life changed. Not completely, we altered it. He always warned me not to chill on the corner. I'm not saying I always didn't, but even on this day, anytime that I'm on the block, in that spot, and that's the place I'm the most uncomfortable. He taught me about drugs and drug addicts and alcoholics and what becomes of them, and also the dangers of becoming one. That's why I never crossed that line, even though I was bordering. At the right time, I aborted it. He showed me how to plant seeds, and we ate what we harvested. Sometimes at church, I used to sit on the organ with her while he was playing the gospel, and I went on the road with the Enterprise Orchestra, and I felt like I was a part of it while we was touring the country, and you could feel the camaraderie. We played behind the most beautiful voices, the mighty Al Green, and at that time, singing background was Linda and Harvey. I can't forget about Jabbo. My daddy was on the keyboards, of course. Tim Dancer was on the drums, and on the bass we had George. James Bass, he played rhythm guitar. Larry Lee, he played the lead, and the legendary Memphis Horns. We had John Saxon on the saxophone. On the trumpet was Anthony Roy, and then his bass played the trombone. At sound check, Tick was the sound man. I had the pleasure of being present at rehearsal, and I used to watch him record. Rest in peace to all of the ones we lost. I couldn't forget about Leon. And if I forgot to say your name, then just charge it to my head, not my heart. You know it'll always be love. Those were the times when I was out of school for the summer, little concert kid. On the road with my daddy, his firstborn son. Could never keep a godmama, I always wanted to be home, like that's where I belong. And I want Romanita and Brenda to know that I love them, and I always will. I was just a little bit different than my sisters and brothers. Mama Bobby, you know I love you. And on that day that I make it to heaven, see you, I'ma hug you. My mama wanted the best for me, so when I stayed with you and Daddy Robert, she used to come and walk with me and talk with me. And that's when we discovered I just couldn't stand being away from my family. That's the reason at 7 years old, Daddy took me to work for his company. I remember the first time he made me knock on the door, I started crying. But by 12, I was collecting the money. And around 13 or 14, I was actually running it. And James, Rick, and Brenda, Terry, and Jerry, they was actually under me. So when I was a teenager, that's when I became a boss. I handled it all responsibly. That was my first nickname, Boss Man Johnny. Now that I'm grown, still use those skills. And it's something that you can't take from me, skill or title. And as my daddy always say, thank God, thank Tim, and thank Johnny. Yeah.